Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming to our session. In this session, we are going to talk about the impact that ER has on TOEIC scores. I am Noriko Muramatsu, an English teacher, and
I'm Tamao Edu, a teacher librarian.
we are presenting together because we have been working on the ER program at our school for over 10 years. Today, we would like to share what we have learned from our students. Here is what we will explain in the session.
Let's start with a brief information about our school. Meiji University, Meiji High School, and Meiji Junior High School is located in Tokyo, Japan. It is a co-ed private school that teaches from Junior 1 to Senior 3. We have 7 hours of English for 6 years. We are an affiliate school of Meiji University, so over 90% of our students proceed to Meiji University. This is our school library. It is located in the center of the school building, so access to the library is easy for students. It is run by a full-time teacher librarian, me, and 2 librarians. The library offers support to any subject, and many classes are held in the library throughout the year. We have 70,000 Japanese books and 7,000 English books in 5,500 different titles. Books for the ER program is in the library.
I will explain a little about the ER program in our school. First, about the books. The books are divided into 5 levels. The levels are decided according to headword. Level 0 are headwords under 250. Level 1 are 250 to 700. Level 2 are about 1,000. Level 3 are 1,400 to 1,800. Level 4 are 2,500. You can see what kind of books are at these levels on the right chart. We place a color sticker indicating the level of the book and the word count for each book. All reading is done outside the classroom. We do not use our class time for reading. All English teachers give the same instruction. Here are the very basic instructions. Students read 1,000 words per day. This is logical because if the student reads 100 words per minute, it takes 10 minutes. Now, 100 words per minute is a rather slow reader. So in many cases, students finish reading in a shorter time. Nation stated that learners should read 15 to 20 minutes a day for 5 days a week, 40 weeks a year, for 3 years, to reach the level learning 3,800 different words. Our instruction did not focus so much on vocabulary learning, but figure out the right amount of reading for our students through our years of instruction, and that is 1,000 words a day. They are told to read for 5 days, a total of 5,000 words per week. If the student is busy, he or she can read every other day for 20 minutes, or they can read on the weekend for 25 minutes. They can also catch up on Sunday, which will require 50 minutes. We found that this amount is doable for any level of student. Students can choose any book of their liking, but we recommend junior high school students to read books in level 0 and senior 1 and 2 students to read mainly level 1 books. If the student feels it's a burden, then they can read even easier books. They each record their reading in the paper book log, and the logs are collected by their English teachers every 4 to 6 weeks. This is an example of what the book log looks like. Some feedback or comment are written for each student. Now, let's look at the result on the TOEIC test and how ER had helped them.
This chart shows the result of the TOEIC test and the amount of words that the students have read in macro perspective. It is a result of 1,268 students who have enrolled in Senior 1 from 2014 to 2018. The number shows the total amount of words read over 3 years respectively. To be honest, some grades read more than others, but here I have indicated the grand total of the words read among the 5 cohorts. You can see that those who have read up to 50,000 words score under 545. When students reach between 50,000 words to 100,000 words, their scores are in the range of 450 to 645. You can see that those who have read more than 200,000 words scored 650 and above. But even after reading 200,000 words, there are about 10% of students whose TOEIC score remain under 445.
In general, integrating ER into the regular curriculum is effective to increase the TOEIC scores. This chart shows the change in the TOEIC score among present Senior 3. It compared the scores in February and in June. 71% of students' scores improved. 19% of the students' score went down. 2% had no change in their score, and 8% were absent for the test either in February or in June. Among the students whose scores increased, I chose 5 students whose scores were low even after reading 200,000 words. Look at the orange boxes. Here I have indicated the TOEIC score in February and the total amount of words they have read when they took this test. February is the month near the end of Senior 2. You can see that they were reading books in level 1 and 2. It is natural because that is the level that the teachers recommend to Senior 1 and 2. Look at Joe. His score was 240 in February, and he had read more than 200,000 words. He was reading mainly level 1 books and a few level 2 books. He shifted his book choice to level 0 books mainly, and read more than 10,000 words in 4 months. This was not difficult for him to achieve because the books were easy to read. His score changed to 530 in June. It is a rise of 290 points. Next, look at Kim. He had read over 300,000 words, and his score was 475 in February. He too was reading books in level 1 and 2. You can see that he wasn't reading books in level 0 at all. So from March, he read level 0 and level 1 books, and the total amount of words read was over 70,000. His score went up 125 points and scored 600 in June. In class, I instructed students to read easier books, and you can see that these students shifted their book choice to level 0. In 4 months, they read a little under 10,000 words, and they were able to increase their TOEIC scores greatly. The increase in the scores were larger for those whose scores were lower in February, and the increase rate was smaller when the students' scores were higher. From the result of the macro analysis, it is obvious that when students read more than 50,000 words, their TOEIC scores start to rise gradually. There is a significant difference after reading more than 100,000 words. And when they reach 200,000 words, more than 70% of students score over 550 points. But the 10% who still have low scores need to change their choice of book level. Day and Bamford stated that learners should read a little under their current English level. This study revealed that their statement is true. By looking at individual students, we learned that the appropriate level is books that are 1 or 2 level below their current English level. The conclusion is, the more reading, the better the scores are. But the reading at the right level is essential for students to score higher on their TOEIC. We were able to find out about this by looking at the students' individual reading. Nishizawa stated that reading easier books improves the TOEIC score for lower level students. We learned that the same applies for intermediate level students. For those teaching in the classrooms, I'd like to share some things that were successful for ER. For the student section, students should first read shorter books rather than longer ones. This is because shorter books use easier English, and students can finish reading a whole book every day. This leads to self-accomplishment. Second, make reading a routine by connecting it with something you do every day. For example, I tell my students to read on the train when commuting to school in the morning, or read for 10 minutes at lunchtime. Third, find a reading buddy. You can share what you read, or it can be someone who just meets you at the library to do reading during lunch break. For the teacher side, check if the students have borrowed from the library once a week. If the student had not borrowed anything for 3 weeks, then have a short chat with the student on his or her progress. Sometimes they need a little advice. Second, collect their book logs every month. In this way, teachers can check individual progress and also give a little feedback. Third, encourage students to read every time in class. Tell them how effective reading is, and don't forget to praise them for any progress they made.
We recommend that ER should be a collaboration between the English department and the school library, because reading is done outside of the classroom, and so students do not receive direct advice on book choice. The library can support students when borrowing books, and feedback can be given to the English teachers. The other merits of collaboration are, first, the circulation of books is much easier. Second, the student can get advice about reading materials from both the English teachers and the teacher librarian. Third, the library can share different information among English teachers. For example, about the student, about what other grades are doing, and others.
I hope that these were some classroom ideas that you can apply to your classes. Lastly, some future research. We learned that low and intermediate level students can boost their proficiency level by reading easy books. What or how should intermediate level students read in order to reach the advanced level? Why does the listening score improve greater than the reading score on the TOEIC test? It is commonly said that deliberate training is needed to enhance a certain skill area in the target language. For example, if you want to improve your speaking skills, then you should spend time and effort on speaking. ER does not involve listening. At least in our school, students read silently, and so no listening is required. But still, their listening scores increase better compared to their reading scores. Here are the references to our presentation. Thank you very much for listening to us. Do you have any questions? Contact us via email if you have any questions. Thank you again and enjoy the rest of the conference.